next chairman of the United National Congress as a member of the UNC loyalist slate. Tim Gopi Singh will bring change and bring hope to this country. Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce to you Dr. Rudal Moonilal, we have an item of entertainment. I hope that the entertainers will be able to perform. If not, then I will have to sing. Or the lights come on because they don't want to hear me sing at all. But I just wanted to say, as the entertainers come forward, I just want to say one thing. Dr. Gopi Singh said that Kamla Prasad Bisesa said, if anything happened to her, Dr. Moonilal will take over. I want to tell you tonight, something has happened to her. She has failed this country miserably. And it is time she listens to her own words and turn over the leadership of the party to Dr. Moonilal. Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce to you Squeezy Rankin and Josh Budram, who will have an item, and as soon as they are finished, Dr. Moonilal, the next leader of the United National Congress, will address you.
This is our duty to see the bigger picture, the writings on the wall. We stand up to the wall. This is our party, yeah. Now this is our future. Now a new day must dawn. Till you see the rising sun. They ask us why we do it.
Why we do it?
Ask us why we do it. Tell them, Squeezy.
Stand up and tell them. Come on!
Stand up and tell them.
For the love of the party. For the love of the party.
Stand up with me.
Yeah.
Let's rebuild the UNC. For the love of the party. For the love of the party. Stand up with me.
Yeah.
Let's rebuild the UNC.
It's time to put somebody new in this position. Somebody new with foresight, someone with vision. Someone to take us forward under any condition. So we can succeed, cause love is the mission. A strong leader who is free to take a stand. So Dr. Moonilal, that is the man. So all UNC loyalists, raise your hand. Come on, we do it now. Raise your hand. Come on now.
For the love of the party.
For the love of the party. Stand up with me, yeah.
And let's rebuild the UNC. For the love of the party.
The man is a loyalist man.
For the love of
He's a real loyalist man. Stand up, he's a real loyalist.
Yeah.
Alright. I want to say good night to Mr. No Man. I'm sorry my mistake, Mr. Mohan. Mr. Tim Gopi Singh, the next chairman. Dr. Gopi Singh, my mistake again, man. Mr. Lala God, you know a big one. And everybody done know that's the real man. And Dr. Rudal Moonilal, the next leader. Each and everybody put your hands up.
They ask us why we do
Why?
it. Ask us why we do it. Yeah. Stand up and tell them.
Stand up and tell them. For the love of the party.
For the love of the party.
Come on.
Stand up with me.
Yeah.
Let's rebuild the UNC.
For the love of the party.
For the love of the party.
Stand up with me, yeah.
Let's rebuild. Now everybody come in. Come in. There's a place for everyone. Under the rising sun.
Under the sun.
Everybody come in. There's a place for everyone. Under the rising sun. For the love of the party.
For the love of the party.
For the love of the party, yeah. Stand up with me.
No, I just.
Let's rebuild the
Say it again.
For the love of the party. For the love of the party.
Yo, why? For the love of the party. No, because tonight on the Ridge Road is niceness. Look, we all sitting here in the darkness just to hear Mr. Moonilal speak out. The next leader, God, he will run the route. Everyone know that. Mr. Moody, Dr. Moonilal, and the whole slate of candidates, everyone. Come on, the love of the party.
Thank you all. And I think you all are hearing me clearly. And I believe we are still live on several radio frequencies. We are still live. Thank you very much. And I want to acknowledge first the head table, our very dear friend and Member of Parliament for Carinese. And we are convinced on Saturday, the next chairman of the United National Congress, Dr. Tim Gopi Singh. Someone told me a couple nights ago, they said, why are you still campaigning for Tim? He said, Tim won already. About 2 weeks ago, he won, when the others announced their slate of candidates. We have with us the next deputy leader of the United National Congress, attorney at law, Mr. Larry Lala, and other candidates present. I will introduce them as I proceed. Brothers and sisters, I want to begin by telling you this is what real politics is about. This is what the struggle to return to government will be about. This is the type of people you require to rebuild the United National Congress, who will come out in Ridge Road, in Poole, in the darkest night, on a rainy night, on a cold night. And you know, when I came to speak, the light will come back. Huh? You had a sense that. You had the confidence, you had the faith that I would bring light. And I would bring that light on Saturday. A few minutes ago on national television, a leadership interview was aired, in which I was interviewed by Sunil Ramdeen, and it was played on national television. And I have received several commendations from citizens and very prominent citizens across the land for my conduct in that interview, for the level of discourse. And as somebody told me a few moments ago, that look and sound like a prime minister. So I will not go below that status now, but to tell you that this is what real politics is. You must have a leader who will come on Ridge Road on a night when it's raining, when it's dark, when you're driving, some of you who came with us, and you couldn't believe where you were going. Then you pass through miles of a blackout. Some of you I know thought, well, we should turn back and go back. But this is what building the party will be. This is the hard work you must do. And I want to tell you that it was Basdev Pandey and others who did this type of work to get the United National Congress in power in 1995. We didn't only meet in the town and the city, we went in the countryside, in the corners of Trinidad and Tobago, to mobilize our supporters on nights like tonight to ensure that we build our constituencies to return to government. So Trinidad and Tobago, the members, the thousands of you listening in, those of you looking at our internet feed, tonight I am proud of the character of our team. You know, every great football team, every great cricket team, every great team in the world, as young people know, you must have a team built of characters, meaning you must have men and women must be characters themselves, but you must also have a team of character. And we have a team of characters, and we have a team of character. A few moments ago, we had a blackout here. Dr. Tim Gopi Singh stood here and continued speaking to you and to the national community. He didn't look for a light. He didn't look for torchlight. He didn't stop. He wasn't deterred. And when we go after Saturday to rebuild this party, we will not be deterred. We will not be distracted. Tim epitomized the character and strength of the UNC loyalists tonight. Any other team would come here to address you. Any other team would have that character. No. Any one of them would stand up in the darkness and talk. No. That is why you must vote on Saturday for a team of rich character. And tonight I make a plea to the national community. I am addressing our members throughout the country. You cannot vote for a team of people if you are not convinced that they are of the UNC. You see, building a party is not a simple job. It is not an easy job. Basdeo Pandey, when he was building the UNC, and I know because I was there, many of them who are talking every night were not there. I understand somebody went in Rosilac today, somebody from another slate, and they attacking me in a funeral. But look where we reach. Now they're trying to provoke me, so I will lose my prime ministerial appeal, deportment. They will not trap me. They will not provoke me. I will not fall into that temptation. I will not. I could be tempted, but I will not. I will not. I'm getting back to the point that I built the UNC with Basdeo Pandey, John Humphrey, Trevor Sudama, Govindra Rupnarayan, Kelvin Ramnath, John Jaglal from the Union, Jack Warner, Ramesh Lawrence Maraj, and Kamla Prasad Visesa. I was there. Don't make a mistake on December 5th, and I will tell you the mistake you will make. A party cannot be built by one man. A party cannot be built by one woman. You require a lot of people, people who have depth, who have stature, who have experience in your party. You cannot bring people who don't know your party. They will not feel for your party. Some people take politics like how they take a drink. They believe that, listen, we come here, we make a lime, we talk to people, we enjoy. People who are not in your party don't feel for the ethos of your party. They don't have the values. They don't have the principles. They don't have the root. So a party cannot be built by persons who just arrive. Take it from me, it cannot be built that way. You must have people who are rooted in your party, who have experience. If we ask someone to travel all over the country and rebuild the party, could we send someone who don't know party members? But they could stop by the junction, by the standpipe, talk to anybody bathing with a bucket and blue soap, and say, come, let me build the party. But those persons are not persons who know your party. You know what is the complaint we have had over the years? Is that we send some young people who did not know who were members of the party, who were the stalwarts. So they go Rio Claro, and they don't know who built the party. Anybody show up, they show up. Tonight we have Marlon Fleming, who built the United National Congress. Marlon, who built that? In Arangwes, he was up to his knee in mud. He was up to his knee in mud. I remember him and the deceased councillor from this side and others. I haven't seen them in ages. But they built this party. When you take persons who didn't come from your party, and they may be good people, I'm not ill-speaking anybody, they didn't come from the party, they don't feel the values, the ethos, they are not rooted, they don't even know who is the party. You cannot entrust them to build the party. This is why tonight I'm proud that we are offering you Tim Gopi Singh as chairman. You can't con Tim Gopi Singh. If Tim Gopi Singh come to Rio Claro for a meeting to organize our party with our party organizer, Jairam Simangal, our policy and strategy officer, Colin Partap, if they come, they will know who are the real members of the UNC and who come in to condemn, who really not of the party, but they come there because, you know, I mean, it's having a meeting. We must know our members. You know, Ralph Maraj in the old days used to do a play, Know Your Country. You must know your members. You must know your supporters. You must know the die-hard people of the UNC. Many of them were neglected over the last 5 years. They were neglected. But they had to be neglected because the people who occupied office, some of them with great respect, didn't even know you. You mustn't blame people for neglecting your party if they don't know their party. How you could blame them? I don't blame anybody. I want to tell persons who ill-speak in me tonight that I was in the UNC when they joined the UNC. When they came for a senatorial appointment, I was there. I was there. There are some people who came to this party, who joined the party today, and you put them in parliament the next day. I was in the UNC. I was in Aranguez. I was at the National Stadium. I was with John Agitation and Guaico Komoto campaigning for him, the first ever candidate that wore the UNC orange colors. They accuse us of changing the color. We didn't change the color. We returned to the color. This is the original color of the UNC. Orange. Marlon, orange is the color. You all know it. So brothers and sisters, I am telling you this to tell you outside, those of you listening in particular, who may not have made up your mind yet who you are voting for and what you are voting for, is that vote for people who know your party, who have history in your party, who have worked in your party before. They are the people who are unlikely to neglect the UNC stalwarts because they know them. They will know them. But you cannot vote for a team of people who may mean well, but they don't know the party. Man, if you give them a map, they cannot find Ridge Road. They have to use Waze. And what's the next one called? GPS? They have to use Waze and GPS to come here tonight. They would get tired from the time they break the corner by the supermarket. They get frightened and go back home, you know. Nobody following this road to come here. You must be committed to your party. You must know your members for you to get involved in this type of struggle. Our slate of candidates is a slate of candidates of the UNC. From the bowels of the UNC, we have together 125 years of collective experience in the United National Congress. And we are proud. We are proud UNC. That's why we wear the orange as well. We are proud. Look what has happened to us today. You know, the last time we won an election, Patrick Manning was in office. That fella gone away years now, recuperating. We wish him well with his recovery and so on. You know, the last time we win an election, Patrick Manning was in office. I think he should come back now so we could win again. And you have to wake up to that reality. We don't hate anybody. We don't have ill will. We don't have malice. What we are saying is that the UNC need a rebirth. We need the energy. We need the vitality. We need the rebirth so that we can rebuild our party. And we have offered you a slate of candidates to do this. What criminal act we commit? What sin we commit? Which of the 10 commandments we violate? Why they attacking us like this? Why are they attacking us like this when we are exercising our democratic right in our party? That's what we are proud of. The same people who are attacking us go boasting that we have a democratic party, one man, one vote. We are proud. And then you attack us for running in the election. What kind of thing is that? Our foreparents in the party didn't build this party. And many of them who are contesting, they don't know of this party. They don't know. They don't know where the party come from. How can they know where the party go in if you don't know where the party come from? So tonight, brothers and sisters, you have to vote for the UNC loyalists. I have been the only candidate bold enough to make 10 pledges and to publish it, that if we are elected, this is what we commit to. This is what we commit to. But we commit, the men and women of this slate, commit to attacking and fighting Keith Rowley and the PNM. Who is going to fight Keith Rowley? Wayne Monroe? That's his name? That's his name? William Monroe? Wayne Monroe? Who is going to fight Keith Rowley? Wayne Monroe? Who is going to stand up to call him Dr. Ragbi Rai? Who is going to fight Camille Robinson Regis, Khadija Amin? But who is going to fight Fitzgerald Hines? David Lee? They are going to fight. But when we were looking to them to stand up to Jack Warner, they run and hide. When we were looking to them to fight Keith Rowley, where were they? They called me one day, they said, Rudy, you're the only man who could fight Keith Rowley. I said, what about the leader? They said, no, she had to be the good cop and you had to be the bad cop. But don't talk about the cup. That means the cup was out of the picture. That's the role they gave me. They typeset me. They say, you have to fight Keith Rowley and Jack Warner. I said, but I'm the Minister of Housing. They said, forget housing. The leader go talk about that. When I went and attacked Rowley, they said that fella too crude and rude and mannish. He don't have good language. You understand the setup I face? Today, the announcer this morning on 106 said he couldn't believe it's me over the last 3 weeks speaking with such diplomacy and statesmanship and finesse. I told him, but that is how I normally conduct my affairs. But the party asked me to do a job and I did it. And did I do a good job or not? So brothers and sisters, I play the role that they asked me to play. The National Campaign Committee tell me to go and attack Keith Rowley. I attack Keith Rowley. They come to the campaigning against me. They say that fella don't have crossover appeal. But that is the role the National Campaign Committee told me to go and do. And I was not a member of the National Campaign Committee. I take my instructions. I was a loyal, disciplined member of the UNC. One day we had a meeting in Central. So the political leader come on the stage. I asked the Prime Minister, I say, Prime Minister, I need to attack Rowley tonight. How to attack him? With a light hammer or a sledge? She said, use 2 sledge. And we laugh at that, but that was the role. That is what I did. Today, I have to return to another role because I have to provide leadership and I have to provide policy and program guidance, what we have been doing over the last 3 weeks. Brothers and sisters, tonight we are not here to fight Kamla Prasad Bisesa. We're not here to fight Don Kamla. We are here to prepare ourselves to fight Keith Rowley and the PNM. That is what we're doing. And yesterday morning when you woke up, we did not have a more important task. Today when you woke up, our task became more important because of the ruling of the High Court. The High Court gave us permission to take the substantive issue of election petition to the High Court. The Court of Appeal gave us the permission. Do you know what are the implications of this? Tonight I want to educate you on the political implications of going to the High Court. Larry Lala, my senior, who didn't believe I write a law exam the day after election, Larry told you the legal issues. You know what is the political consequences of this? The political consequences is that we can go to the High Court. We can take our arguable case. And who knows, we may win. But if we win, we're in trouble. Because if we win, the court will not give us the government. The court cannot gift wrap the government and say Christmas is upon us. Take the government, all you fellas go back in office. The court cannot do that. The most the court could do is order, or by their ruling, declare through declaration order or whatever means. They should say that the 6 seats, or all the seats were persons were disadvantaged, their rights were violated, and they can make an order, a recommendation, or call it what you want, to return to the polls. But the court can't go back to the election and the court can't give you the government. If Keith Rowley then believes that he has no moral authority to conduct the business of government, Keith Rowley can declare an election. But who going back to fight Keith Rowley? Wayne Monroe? The fellow who was sleeping in the car? Who going back to confront the PNM? The incumbent leader says she cannot work with Vasant Bharat, the super minister. She cannot work with Tim Gopi Singh. She cannot work with Fuad Khan. She cannot work with Rudal Moonilal. Who going back to fight the PNM? We are in a crisis. Will that team take you to fight the PNM? You think they can win 18 seats plus? So brothers and sisters, if ever you had doubt, on Saturday you must bring change to the United National Congress. You must bring change to the party so we can get our house in order. So if the the petition goes the way of the party or the petitioners, and we have to go back to the polls before 2020, we must get our house in order. So those persons who were telling me I should have waited to 2018 we would have lose all the election, it would have been easy. We may have also lose a general election by 2018. Huh? So the imperative is upon us to come out and vote for change. And one of the speakers before me told you, and I want to appeal to you from my heart to yours. We have lost 5 elections. Mrs. Prasad Bisasa say, don't blame she alone, blame everybody. So you all blame me, and I will blame you. And we will blame Tim, we go blame everybody. We go blame everybody, good. But that doesn't help us to rebuild the party, yeah? Blaming Rudal Moonilal doesn't help us to rebuild the party. It doesn't help us to get back into government. But on Saturday, you have to take a decision to help us to return to government by putting a strong team to rebuild. Because God forbid you make the wrong decision on Saturday, and then we have an election before 2020. What will happen to the poor UNC? Who will fight the PNM? When you have a situation where Mrs. Prasad Bisasa gave a pamphlet out, she posted to 120,000 people, and in that pamphlet, at two places, I have one in my hand. I think home by us, we get 5. And she said, under my leadership, we will be attracting persons. Yes, what makes our party great? And under my leadership, we will embrace everyone. On the next page, she says, I am prepared to engage, inspire, and involve all my fellow citizens. Now we know is except Tim Gopi Singh, Rudal Moonilal, Vasan Bharat, Fuad Khan. So you tell us one thing in the pamphlet you post home, I get 5. And then you go on the platform and say, forget that pamphlet. I'm working with everybody except them hardback man. How can you say that? So what are we to believe? The pamphlet you post or your speech somewhere on Saturday night? What are we to believe? Tell us that you made a mistake on Saturday. We'll say, okay, we forgive you. These things happen. It might have been a wrong day. It might have been a wrong meeting. Maybe the chairman upset you. Tell us if the pamphlet is wrong. You know, this pamphlet was a misprint. And I didn't really mean we will embrace everybody. Tell us I really didn't mean that we will embrace everyone and we will engage with everyone on the road to government. Tell us what to believe. Because you cannot have this double standard that you say one thing in your letter to the electorate and you go on the platform and you say something else. That is the type of thing that led us from government to opposition. That is the type of thing that took us from the government to the opposition. When you say one thing today and you say something else tomorrow, and the people look at us and say, listen, they have no credibility. They have no credibility. You don't know what to believe. And we continue it even in our campaigning. And that is what we must stand up and point out. Skippy said it well the other night. We just have to learn to do things properly. Don't say one thing and mean another, and don't mean something and say the other. That, brothers and sisters, is very, very serious. And for us to go forward, we must be prepared to confront the PNM. Today was a dark day for the people of Rio Claro and the constituency of Mayaro. Do you know today, Maxi Coffee, whoever Coffee is, whoever that fella is, when he stand up in parliament, anyway, some fingers wagging at me here tonight, they said remain prime ministerial. So I don't want to say anything about Maxi Coffee. So I get a clap for that. Maxi Coffee came here today and opened a library in Rio Claro built by the People's Partnership. Tim Gopi Singh built the library. Tim Gopi Singh built the library when Tim should have been opening that library under the People's Partnership government. Tonight he driving out here, stopped twice because Maniku crossed the road to come down here to speak to you about bringing change in the party when Tim Gopi Singh is supposed to be opening that Rio Claro library for you with Gypsy Winston Peters. It was ready, I think, before. Today, Maxi Coffee come down here, open the library. Rushton Paré came, your member of parliament. He had to sit down. He couldn't say boo. He couldn't say nothing. He wasn't invited to speak. He wasn't invited to read in the library. He went there as member of parliament to sit down and listen to Maxi Coffee open a library built by Tim Gopi Singh and the Partnership Administration. That is the indignity that we suffer today because we lost the government. And we lost the government. Don't fool yourself. We have election petition because we lost. If we had won the government, we'd have election petition to say the PNM was treated unfairly and they lost. We lost the government, and that is why today the people of Rio Claro had to receive Maxi Coffee in Rio Claro to open a library built by Tim Gopi Singh. That is why today when we were coming here, miles and miles of blackout. Miles of blackout. You have never seen this for the 5 years of the Partnership Administration. Look what is happening. Workers are unemployed. Businesses are closing. A dentist and a doctor spoke to me over the last week. They said they don't have the patients coming through the front door because people are unemployed. If they get a cold now, they don't come. They just stay home and drink ginger tea. Or bust up a lime and put it in a glass with salt or something. I don't know about that. But the people are not going to the doctor anymore because they don't have money. Look at what is happening in the restaurant. I was speaking to an owner of a restaurant earlier this evening. You know what he told me? He said when we were in power, a husband and wife would come and they would have their meal. Each of them would have 2 glasses of wine, as the case may be. The bill would come $400. He said today, the same people are coming in and say, boss, we think we'll take 2 box food and carry home. Because they will not sit down to dine because the bill might come back $400. They are prepared to come now, buy the food, and go home and drink a juice. With that, you are seeing the downturn in the economy. And Keith Rowley gone to Malta and London with his beloved wife. He left you. And to throw salt in your wound, he put Colm Imber as Prime Minister. Yes. He was in PM1 the other day. They say PM1 flying past by, but they can't see him because the seat low. So they say the car passing empty. All they see is a little gray bushy here. And they say, well, look, that was Imber passing there. Because they need to put now a cushion in the back seat there if you have to wave to anybody from PM1. That is what we have. The government gone silent. As Speaker told you, we're in winter. The country frozen. You can't see a minister not for nothing. You don't know who is the minister of this, who is the minister of that. The other day in Parliament, I saw 1 or 2 of them. I don't know who they are. I thought they were the Hansard personnel. You type in the reports and so on. Because they are not in the public. They are hiding from the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Maxi Coffee is the only talker at the post-conference. He is the only one speaks now. Nobody speaks. It says only Maxi, not Mini. So you cannot see anybody. So brothers and sisters, look where we are. The trade union movement gone silent. Are you seeing them? Are you hearing them? When we were in power, they grab a mannequin. They say it was resembling the Prime Minister and dragged through the streets. They can't get a mannequin resembling Rowley. That we might have to import. They can't get one to look like him because we believe that nobody and nothing could look like him. So brothers and sisters, this trade union movement is silent and important to face the PNM. It is your party that was built out of the wombs of the ULF and the working class movement. It is your party that must now stand in the vanguard of the working class struggle. It is your party. And it is meetings like this in the countryside that we must have to conduct in the years ahead. Who will do this kind of work? Who have the mettle, who have the stamina, who have the audacity to come tonight to a community like this and address UNC members? It is our slate that will have to rebuild the UNC and to do the work of the trade union movement. They cannot do that work. They are in bed with the PNM and they now cannot disentangle themselves to come out of bed. They are caught there. They sold their soul for $15 million and they cannot buy it back. These trade union leaders cannot confront Rowley because he will expose them for plotting against the partnership government. You see, that is why they are silent. Yes, Roger, he went to Price Mart. That is where he reached now to attack middle-class people who shopping there because he cannot go to the OWTU and build any support The workers don't want to see him. They will not stand with him in the rain and in the sun. I tell you this to underscore the importance of building a strong UNC. It is the final bulwark to stand up to a tyrannical government. It is the final guardian of democracy against a dictatorial PNM. And you take this for granted. Some people say they're undecided. They don't know who they're voting for and what they're voting for. I want to tell you, you must be decided. If you believe, and tonight I say with great honesty and humility, tonight I tell you, the members of our great party, with humility, I want to tell you, if you believe that Kamla Prasad Bisesa has done a good job as party leader, she has done a good job, and she ought to be given another chance to continue with that good job, you must then have no option but to support her slate. If you believe, but she herself has admitted and has apologized for the neglect of the party and the collapse of the structures. If you believe that the next candidate in this election, who is not a member of parliament, he brings the best hope for the party to fight Keith Rowley. Well, you can't fight him in the parliament, so you got to fight him on the Brian Lara Promenade, or you go fight him in Price Smart, because you can't fight him in parliament. If you believe that he can fight Keith Rowley, then you vote for him. But if you believe that we have the strength, the stamina, the vibrancy, the energy, and the tenacity, then you vote for us. You vote for us to rebuild this party, to take back this party and build it. I have no doubt we can do it. I have no doubt, because we have a plan that we are committed to. Tonight, I just want briefly to run through our plan. We are committing to building or acquiring a permanent headquarters for the UNC. How many leaders have spoken about this? All. Not one bill. Not one bill. And we are the builders. Tim Gopi Singh, myself, if you notice, the builders are here. We build house, we build library, we build hospital, we build police station, we build fire station in Mayaro. Who built that? It was UDCOT under my ministry built a fire station that Eric Williams promised. The day that was opening, the Prime Minister went to Mayaro. I supposed to go and make a speech. You know what I told her? I said, Prime Minister, you go and cut the ribbon and open the Mayaro fire station. I have some campaigning to do in San Fernando and elsewhere. She said, okay, Rudy, you stay and campaign. That's more important. She went and cut the ribbon. UDCOT built that. Who you think built that? It was ministers who she says today she can't work with. Who finished the Scarborough Hospital? Who built the San Fernando Teaching Hospital? Who built the Children's Hospital? Who started the Point Fortin Hospital, the Arima Hospital? UDCOT under my ministry. 102 schools, Tim Gopi Singh. Brothers and sisters, 8 police stations, housing ministry, 7,000 houses. We built that. In fact, they advertise in their paper that they're proud of education and housing, but we can't work with them ministers no more. Can't work with them. But you could have worked with them to come and cut ribbon and make the speech. That was fine. But not working again with them to rebuild. Who can rebuild the party than the men and women who built the government? We have committed to a leadership school for the youth. We have committed for the election of candidates to be approved by constituency executives. You know, in Mayaro, we selected a candidate one day. The fellow was selected one night. So we clap in Rienzi Complex. We have a new candidate. We clap. The next night, he gone. That is the shortest candidate that have ever appeared in the Commonwealth. He gone because we discovered something. So what was the vetting? What was the process? That embarrassed your party more than anything in the world. And then you bring the next candidate and you say, fella, you really you got the second place, but come in quick, we need to change. The current member of parliament, who members on this team lobbied for to become the member of parliament for the constituency of Naparima. Overnight he came in. And Mayaro, what I said? I probably have Naparima MP on my mind. Brothers and sisters, we have promised to introduce stringent and vigorous accountability system for councillors. Choose your councillors wisely. Today, while we try to save our party, Some of the councillors trying to save their work. They believe that if the incumbent lose them out, so they're trying to return the incumbent because they want to stay in. And they believe I will help them. Huh? You know, it's a fascinating thing. They believe that if they don't show up and speak for the incumbent, and the incumbent win, they're going to be thrown out. But Rudy's a nice fella. You could talk to him. He just treat people fairly. So if Rudy win, they go get back in. They believe that. They really believe that. Brothers and sisters, we have promised that the deputy political leaders will have specific portfolios, including constitutional reform, and we will confront the issue of campaign finance reform. I am the only political leader candidate to have placed campaign finance reform on our platform. I am not scared of law. I'm not scared of that. I am able to confront legal issues. And we should make our party the leading political party in the Caribbean to bring policy and law on campaign finance reform. I have committed to constituency tours every 3 weeks. If I am political leader, not one executive should tell you that this fella come to campaign and soon as he win, he gone, we never see him again. Don't fall in that trap. You must have a structure where every 3 months your leader and your executive go out to the communities, meet the executives, the activists. We must share with them. You cannot put that in the hands of people who don't have experience in your party. They cannot build a party. They are not involved in the party. You name me one time in our history when inexperienced people in a party have built a party. A party is a different thing. Take it from me. It is different. I don't know anything that is so different than a political party. You must feel it. You must live it. You must smell it. You must feel the love for your party, for you to work for your party without pay. Voluntary work is harder. Voluntary work is hard. I went through the dark days when people like Rampasad Parasram, I don't want to call his name now, when people like Kelvin Ramnath, Mulchan Mahango, and others, Moonilal Supasad, they used to push their hand in their pocket and take $20 to put gas in the car because we're going in the countryside to a meeting. We used to go to hear Pandey talk, like places like this. If Pandey talking to 1,000 people, he talk the same way. If he talking to 100 people, same way. If he talking to 10 people, the same way. Man, if he talking to 1 people, he talk the same way. He gave us that courage. He told us once, he said, if you go to meet people, you must speak with the same vitality and charisma and commitment and purpose to one human being as you would speak to 100,000. And that is what we represent, brothers and sisters. I want to make a commitment here. You know, people just make commitment for 2 years and 3 years. I want to make a commitment that if on Saturday night we are successful, and when we are successful on Saturday night, I will on Saturday night name the date for the next election of the leader of the United National Congress. Larry, that is not only confidence, that is audacity. I will set the date 3 years from Saturday and say that is when I will go back up for election. So don't afraid that I reach there and I postpone the election. Or I tell you, look, we can't make something happen. We have a death in the family. And in the death in the family, the pundits say you can't have no election for a year. No. No, we will get Swami to fix up that. We go do something about that. Brothers and sisters, I will commit on Saturday night, if I am successful as your party leader. When I am successful on Saturday night, I will set the date for the next election for political leader on Saturday night. We will strengthen the structure of party groups. And what do we mean? A community like this, Ridge Road. You can take 10 people, look at what people we have here. From this community, 10 of you can form a party group. Once you form a party group, you are a member of the constituency council in Mayaro. You go every month for a meeting, and when you go there, you report on what is happening here. A street light not working, a drain is needed. People are complaining about the road. People are complaining about pension or something. You go to the constituency council where your MP is there. He takes notes. He comes to parliament and raise the question, raise a motion. That is how parliament works. We want to rekindle that great and that glorious UNC past when we did that. Did that happen over the last 5 years? No. And brothers and sisters, we have committed to the reunification of the UNC. I have invited for Thursday representatives of every political party the UNC ever formed. Do you know this UNC formed 5 party? We can't continue like that. The latest indignity is the Sugar Union Party gone. The ULF and the UNC was formed from the Sugar Union. How them could leave we too? Them gone. We will be left with a letterhead and a stamp if we continue like this. If we continue like this, every friend you have who is UNC will be in our next party, you know. We cannot continue. I am committed to asking the MOP, the Team Unity, the ILP, the COP, and the NSA to return to the folds of the UNC and let us work together again to unite. And I am committed to working with the other candidates. Have you noticed I have not ill-spoken, not one, when some of them gone funeral bad talking me? They gone funeral bad talking me. They gone to on the media. Some people say I was, I was doing all kind of this and that and approve no Rowley campaign. Man, anybody who know me in politics, no, I can't be associated with things like that. One day they bring this wheel next to me with Rowley picture. I say, move that from here. I can't stand up next to Rowley. He go spoil my picture. So, brothers and sisters, I have resisted that temptation well. I am not calling the name of not one of their candidates. All I am saying is you as members, look at the slate of candidates there. Look at my slate. If you believe my slate is best, it is because I am the political leader candidate. I have been able to mobilize persons like Jairam Simangal as our party organizer, Devika Thomas as our central representative, Neela Khan as elections officer. I have been able to mobilize Jihan Mohammed, criminal lawyer, as our vice chairman, a prominent doctor in Penal, Dr. Narendra Rupnarayan, son of Govindra, our founding member. He's our research officer. Indira Katwaru, who is here, as our South coordinator. Colin Partap, our policy and strategy officer. Shala Alexander from the Northeast as our representative there. A prominent businessman, Neil Gosain. You know, nobody telling me who is their treasurer candidate. You all know why? All you find out. I'm not telling all you. Find out who is the treasurer candidates on the other slate. Find out. They may not have treasured anything in their life. Find out. We have Neil Gosain. Barrington Skippy Thomas. He's running against some 2 people from other slates. He's the only person from Tobago running in for Tobago rep. Brothers and sisters, Usha Rampasad Gokul, educator, principal of a Mahasabha school. I want to tell Tim he should stop campaigning now. This thing is getting out of hand now, man. Tim, you win already. Dr. Tim, nobody in the UNC ought to have, what is the big word Trevor Sudama used? The temerity. Nobody ought to have the temerity to contest against Tim Gopi Singh for position of chairman of the United National Congress. You ought not. Brothers and sisters, this is a man who worked to put Basdev Pandey as the first UNC prime minister in office. This is a man who worked with Winston Dukaran, Clive Panton, the other folks of the NAR, the ONR, to build the unity platform that got us into government. He worked hard in the Northwest Regional Health Authority. Tim Gopi Singh was arrested, prosecuted by the PNM government. He was placed in handcuffs by the PNM dictatorial government. He went to court for 1 year, spent money from his pocket to defend himself for the United National Congress. And today you bring people who don't know where Rienzi complex is and contesting against Tim Gopi Singh. What is that? Tim Gopi Singh has the distinction of being a Shakonia gold medalist serving this country. He's a medical doctor specialist with thousands of patients in this country. He has worked in the whole hemisphere. He's one of the most recognized medical doctor in the Caribbean. If you know who is Tim Gopi Singh, you cannot conceive that they will put somebody to run against him. Brothers and sisters, we are offering him. We have been proud that I have been able to attract him to serve as chairman. We have Larry Lala, one of the most distinguished and polished attorneys at law. This is not a cantankerous fella. This is a fella we could feel proud of as our deputy leader. And James Lambert is the president of the NATOC. I mean, what else you all want from me? Blood? Flesh? We have given you the greatest team of candidates this party has ever found. We can turn our slate into a cabinet, overnight. If Rowley fall down tomorrow, I can take this slate and make a cabinet. That is the power of our slate. What are the others offering you? Who? Look in the newspaper if they are bold enough to publish. Look in the pamphlet that they send out. Look anywhere and see if you see who are the candidates they are offering. I say nothing about them. And I tell you this evening, the others have spoken, but I am the first ever foundation member outside of Basdeo Pandey to have presented myself as a political leader candidate for the United National Congress. I was there. Many of them were not there. There are persons running, want to be your officers at the high levels of the party. There were times when they did not vote for the UNC. They voted against the UNC. They are presenting themselves for candidates. So brothers and sisters, I don't want to keep you longer, but to thank you. Tonight we will have more to say as we go along. Tonight we come with love. We ask you to vote for the heart. Vote for the heart and soul of the UNC. On Saturday, it will be the heart, the symbol, the heart. I hope you could recognize it. There's a lot of candidates. Vote for the heart. Vote for the UNC loyalists. Campaign for us. I make a final plea. I told you that the party give us a list that is non-functional, dysfunctional. If we campaign with that list, we go win this election in March next year. We cannot work with the list. I am appealing to you. Self-mobilize yourself. Your family begin first. Your street, your community, mobilize the UNC members and bring them out to vote on Saturday. Don't wait for us. We don't have a list. We just don't have a working list to campaign. So I tell you tonight, ensure you mobilize yourself. Mobilize yourself and come out in your numbers to vote for us. We cannot campaign with the list they gave us. So mobilize in your small homes, in your community. And I have the special one for you tonight to leave you. I want to ask you to form yourself into a circle of friends. Every one of you here tonight and every one of you listening on the radio or the internet. Say, I am creating a circle of friends for the UNC loyalists. I am one. I need 10 persons. I need 9 more persons who are members of the party. And I am the leader of a UNC loyalist circle of friends. And I will take 10 people to vote for me for the UNC loyalists on Saturday, December 5th. Tonight, I beg you, beseech you, those of you at home, make a family circle of 10. Begin with that. And say, I am responsible for 10 people to take them to the polls. If 5,000 people tell us that they can bring 5 people, you know how much vote that is? 10 people. If we get even 1,000 people to give us 10 people each, you know how much that is? Tim, how much is that? He's the numeric one. It will be in excess with your vote of 10,000 votes on election day. Remember, we cannot campaign with the list we have gotten. We still, listen, we need to get Sherlock Holmes to decipher this list that they gave us. We need to get Sherlock Holmes to help us to decipher the list. They have people who from Arapuchis voting in Naparima. They have people in Princetown voting in Siparia. And I have the best one for you. When Mrs. Prasad Bisesa launched her candidacy, she had a gentleman on the right called Prem Chand Suku, Doc. He have 2 party cards. He's the longest serving councillor. He had 2 party cards, but he can't vote. He named off the list too. He named off the list. Imagine people who are constituency officers, they name off the list. We take that for a joke, That is a serious, serious matter. People will go to the polls on Saturday with 3 party cards. 3. And you know they can't vote? Their name not on the list. You will go to your polling station, I think it's the Rio Claro Presbyterian. Rio Claro Presbyterian School is where you vote in. Your name not on the list. But we will have people there tell us. We will quickly look to the other constituencies to find your name. Because you may well have to come by Oropouche and vote. That is what they did with the list that they gave us. That is not what they did with the list that they have. They have one list. We have the next one. We said we go take that. Time longer than twine. We taking that. I want to tell them what goes around, comes around. Don't bother with them. They gave us a list that we can't use, but we have the strength of the people. We have the support of the people. So we have to fight harder than they have to fight. So tonight I thank you for your attention. Bless us. I want to make the final appeal that God is great. I ask you who are here tonight and the national community to lift us in your prayer. When you go to sleep in the night, when you wake up in the morning and you offer your prayer, whether you are a member of the Hindu faith, the Christian faith, or the Islamic faith, when you go to prayer, offer us and lift us in your prayer. Ask God to help us and bless us so we will have the strength, so that we will have the courage, so we will have the support to make change, so that we can bring change not only to our party, but to our country. Lift us in your prayer, and we cannot lose on election day. To God be this glory. Thank you, and God bless you all.
For the love of the party, stand up with me and let's rebuild the UN.